show, so I'm going to keep the introduction short. Dr. Balashankar, member of the BJP, Pawan Khera, spokesperson of the Congress, Rita Singh, principal of the Indrapuram Public School, Ghaziabad. She's been a master trainer, a mentor with CBSE for years. Gitanjali Kumar, she's worked as a counselor with the CBSE for over 15 years. Shahid Siddiqui, he's an educationist, also a journalist, and Shailaja Chandra, who is the former chief secretary of Delhi. But I want to start for the CBSE. Shailaja, do you think this is possible that this could have been pulled off without it being an inside hand? There being an inside hand?
I think the inside hand was definitely the role of that principal and the other two people who are supposed to be there when the paper is opened. It's opened at a particular time.
Correct.
This was opened an hour or something in advance.
There are supposed to be invigilators and there has to be the principal
now,
of the school.
Those four people, if you get after them, they will spill the beans, whether
Correct.
it was a message from anywhere or whether it was their own doing.
It happened a day before.
It happened a day before.
Which was already
Correct.
sent.
She's talking about the economics paper. There's a difference. The economics paper came out an hour before. That's the arrest that the police have made today. But they're right. The math paper came out the evening before and an email was sent to the chairperson and they did not call off the exam. So, two separate cases.
Let's be clear. I am not making a case for CBSE, but I know my 3 children had to do those exams, and much as I'm probably way beyond being even the grandmother stage, I can only say the tension that children go through is something enormous. I know how much tension the parents have to go through on their behalf, so my heart bleeds for whatever has happened. But let us be clear, we have counterfeit drugs in this country. We have counterfeit money, currency being made. This is a counterfeit activity done by 4 or 5 people. Now, if they were doing it at somebody's behest, if it was a conspiracy, it has to come out through an investigation. I think that somebody's head has to roll, but the head has to roll exactly where it happened. There's no use targeting the entire system.
I agree.
Because the minute you start shaking a pillar, the entire edifice will fall.
True.
There is no future for these children if they start quaking and saying the CBSE is a rubbish. I, however, do feel that the CBSE needs to make deterrent punishment, both for all children who come through any kind of a suspicion, put on their paper forever unfair practice, unfair examination practice. The minute that's put there, and that is on the stamp for your school leaving exam, when you go for post-graduation, when you go for graduation, when you go for a job, if that sign is there, they will think twice about getting entangled in cheating. Number 2, I have a message for parents. I have been a parent, I've also been, I mean, they may be not here, but they may be your viewers. Why is our country accepting that pass kisi bhi halat mein hona hai? If your kid is not studying, why should he have an advantage over kids who have studied, sweated, worked till 4 in the morning to get a meritorious place? Why are we equating everybody and making everybody into a common denominator? As though it just doesn't matter that there's somebody who's worked hard and has aspired and reached the 99% goal, and you have people who are allowed to cheat and get by and pass. This is really, you know, equating.
So you're saying there should be a retest. There has to be a retest.
There has to be a retest, because how else for economics? For the class 10, I think for 7 years they didn't have it. It's not going to be the end of the world.
Yeah, they can skip it.
They can skip it. But I think for economics, it's very important. It is the most sought
for him,
after
he needs
subject.
it, because otherwise it won't go on his transcript. He won't get a transcript. He won't be able to go ahead. He has conditional acceptance from a university in the States, and that's not going to happen.
And economics is the most sought after of all the papers. That is definitely because the future of that is much wider than others. I will not talk about engineering and all that.
So if you don't have data, then I don't think it's fair to bring that up. Shailaja, respond.
I want to say this is an opportunity to set right this system, and I have 3 suggestions to make. Number 1, it should be an encrypted paper which comes with a code. Only one computer in the room can be opened, and that will be with a double code. It is done for board papers. It can be easily done for the board examination. Board meaning commercial organizations.
I think that has already been done now.
I don't know, but let them start doing it for CBSE. So this kind of a huddle of a principal and some people getting together is just out of question. There is technology available whereby you cannot put it on a pen drive, you cannot photograph it. It becomes, there is technology. Why can't that be used? It is opened only 15 minutes before.
I mean, is examination everything? What
Just a
kind of
minute.
education
She's
are
put
we
a
giving?
question
There
to
are
me.
schools all over the country where there are no teachers, where there is no education, where are no schools, there are no infrastructure, and what do we expect from these children? In Bihar, in UP, in the villages, they have to compete, and they have no alternative but to cheat. And we are producing that nation of cheaters. It can be very good for
So,
upper
Shailaja
class,
is talking about
middle,
technology.
upper middle
Mr.
class.
Javadekar, Pawan, Mr.
thinking
Javadekar has said
that-
technology will now be used from tomorrow, that is from Monday, when students are sitting for their board exams. But we don't have any idea on what this is. It's just a statement that he's made.
It's an opaque response, as I said.
No, may I
Sorry,
just complete? I think I was speaking and I was interrupted rather rudely. I'd like to complete, please. Technology is the answer. It
Well,
is
I'm picking up
possible.
on your topic of
No,
technology,
but
the point that you
I also want
made.
to add one more thing, that this is something which, if it is done, all this cheating can be stopped. Do we want to stop cheating? That is the question. Who is encouraging all this? Do you think there is a whole mafia which is
must also
encouraging?
define
No,
cheating.
No,
it
I
is the
think I-
same
Are we just
people.
incompetent?
Sarah,
Sorry?
Is it just incompetency, or what is it?
Because
Why would
they
somebody
are
not want to crack down
ready
on corruption?
They are not ready to join a merit-based system.
Who's
Politicians, the children, they are not interested
And the
because
children, I think the
they have
child
been
was
Oh, we so blame the children.
Sorry.
They have been
Blame the
taught.
children.
They have been taught by society that's the only way to succeed. I think that mindset has to change by having completely
coaching system,
different type of
Not teaching the
Okay.
schools, you have to go for
The-
coaching,
the-
spend lakhs of
Okay,
rupees
students,
to
get your
the coaching
responses
and
to
coaching
ma'am, but
people
Pawan, I was
to produce
asking-
these papers.
we-
The whole system has collapsed.
I partly agree with Ms. Shailaja Chandra that there is a mafia. We need to identify that. There is no doubt about that.
Yes.
Only yesterday.
Think that we need to put a halo around anybody.
Nobody,
They
correct.
have to change the system, but unless you criminalize this, unless people go to jail for
Yes,
this,
true.
and
But somebody
the
should take the
students also-
responsibility
And the
also.
right
Accountability
people.
has to be
It
there
is not
at the highest
going to
level.
change.
But nobody is taking
I mean,
accountability
she's
from the
talking of
CBSE.
students
No, the
being
police are on it.
accountable
They
and
will
put
have
up
to.
a
If they
stamp,
don't
but not on the
criminalize
teachers,
it
not
and
on
they
the
don't put
CBSE.
people in jail,
But
that means they are involved.
But ma'am, even if it happened at a local level, the school is affiliated to the CBSE. The CBSE has cleared them. It has given them an affiliation.
Yes.
It has taken money from them for that affiliation. So how is the CBSE not responsible?
De-affiliate them. There are many ways the government and the CBSE can punish people. They can't have a goody-goody approach. They will have to change the examination system. How come this doesn't happen in SAT exam, GRE exam? That is worldwide, it doesn't go wrong, because you have completely different ways of asking questions. Even the IIM examinations, it doesn't happen, because the questions
That is a
look
very
at
crucial
your
point.
intelligence. They look
If-
at your
if you are being
intelligence.
correct.
They don't look at your cramming.
You cannot cheat in an exam where you are being questioned on your intelligence and
Yes.
not on whether you have mugged up the answer. So that is a very important point. There's something wrong with our
I think that is where
system.
CBSE must put its heart
Not
and
just the
soul in
CBSE, that's what
changing.
the education ministry to go into. Not just the history, changing the history, but changing the education system and not producing clerks, which was the aim of the Britishers, and that system we have not changed. The cramming up still takes place, the questioning is not allowed, the feudal
I
system
agree on that.
remains, and that critical mind is not being produced. The scientific critical mind has to be there, and for that you need huge changes. But whenever we talk of changes, we talk of changing the history or changing a few books here and there or changing the names of the books,
No, but
not
I
of the
must
education
add
system.
one thing. I came to know, and maybe everybody here knows, but I was quite pleased to learn that the CBSE, in the last couple of months or something, put an end to CBSE printing books. They have no business to be in book business. This is the job of NCERT. Why were they publishing books? Wasn't there some gadbad going on there? CBSE stopped it. I say bravo that at least they have moved
Why
one
didn't
step
they
ahead.
have 4 sets of paper this year? Nobody's
I don't
answering
know.
that.
Yeah,
I don't
nobody's
know.
answering that
Why
question.
did-
there are
Shailaja,
very many-
closing argument.
I have
What's the solution?
I think the solution is one, technology, because that is what world exams do. We are not using enough of it. We need to use it. Number two, the heads of the people who actually did this fraud, this cheating, have to roll by going to jail. It's not a question of heads rolling. As far as the chairman is concerned, when Nirav Modi happened, you don't go baying for the blood of the chairman of the PNB. You got after a deputy manager. In this case, you may say that I'm no,
wrong.
listen
Do
to
the same
me.
here?
No, listen to me. I am not taking her side. I don't know her at all. Let me be quite frank. But I know the exam system. The chairman does not know who's the paper setter. The chairman does not know who the printer is. The chairman does not know which bank it is kept in the locker of. It is all done by the controller of examinations, and there is a whole hierarchy under the controller. The chairman is supposed to see that the guidelines and
maybe
the systems.
The controller of examinations should be answering questions. Maybe
Yes.
he should have been sitting with the health secretary, the education secretary, and not the chairman. Then, if she's not involved with any of these decisions,
These are not
Mr.
in her.
Sharjah,
It should be the controller of examinations and
where
the
is the
people
control of